I would like to welcome you to Bio 358 Online, the biology of human, social, and sexual behavior. This course is also known as the biology of being human. This is an upper division biology course. What that means is that it has the pace, content, and rigor of an upper division university course. Though it is given in the shortened time frame of the extended summer session, the course itself covers the same amount of content as the academic year course and the same credit load. We strongly advise that you give yourself enough time to complete the course assignments each week and don't fall behind because it moves very, very quickly. This course is certified as a STAS and ESI General Education course. STAS stands for Understand Relationships Between Science or Technology and the Arts, Humanities, or Social Sciences. Therefore, this course is multidisciplinary in its scope, including biology, anthropology, psychology, history, economics, and even political science. In fact, you will find that it unites the social and natural sciences in ways that have never been done before. ESI stands for Evaluate and Synthesize Research Information. The course content models the requirements and executions of this skill, and then we ask you to engage as students within the discussion board environment to do exactly the same thing. I cannot stress the importance of having a strong evolutionary biology background, no matter what your disciplinary interest is. This background will unite all of these areas shown on this screen, as well as shedding new light on solving some of the most important problems we all face as humans today. I am one of the co-faculty for this course. I collaborate with another co-faculty member called Paul Bingham, and together we developed the theoretical scientific content covered in this course, which has come to be called social coercion theory. My PhD is in psychology. My research work stems from a strong background in evolutionary biology. I have a very strong interest in the evolution of social fear and the implications to human health, education, and welfare, particularly when we are embedded in democratized social units compared to when we are embedded in social units that are structured on dominance hierarchies. The other co-faculty member is Professor Paul Bingham. His PhD is in molecular and cellular biology. His work also stems from a strong background in evolutionary biology. Besides his research work with social coercion theory, he also does research in cancer metabolism, and he is the vice president of research for a company called Cornerstone Pharmaceuticals. You will have much help in the way of mentoring assistance for content and even to navigate the online environment if you've never taken an online course before. Besides myself and Professor Bingham, you also have an instructional support assistant to help you and 2 undergraduate teaching assistants, 1 per 35 students in this class. Now, to begin the first third of the course, we start with how natural selection works in detail, including how it builds bodies and minds. There are many common misconceptions about evolution. We not only clarify them, but we begin to build an understanding that will eventually, by course end, change the way you look at yourselves, the way you look at others, and the way you look at the world around you in a very positive way. We then move on to Darwin's unanswered question. How did humans come to be unique among all animals, and exactly what ways are we not unique, and in what ways are we unique? You may be surprised at how much insight we can get from looking at non-human animals. We will find that the answer to our uniqueness is simple and yet powerful, something we will come to expect of all scientific theories. In the last third of the course, we move on to looking how this new theoretical view gives us a theory of history and new insights into economics, politics, and even religion. You should find yourself better prepared to face the problems that we see in the world today, including financial crises, world politics, inequality, and health and human welfare. Now, this course has 2 objectives. The first is to learn and understand, of course, the course content as we're teaching it. You'll be aided by e-quizzes, assets on the digital textbook, and our comments on your discussions each week. Then you'll also have 2 tests, and that's how we will assess how well you absorb the content. The second objective is equally important, and that is one of skill building in scientific thought, falsification, and communication. This is your personal interaction with the ESI component of this course. You will utilize the tools of collaboration and communication, the tools of doubt. Remember that science is all about falsification, not confirmation. You will have to test everything you think you know in the discussion boards and everything everyone else tells you. You are going to be asked to make it to survive your own testing against the evidence before you take anything you hear from us or anyone else or anything you've ever read as your own. So we're going to be asking you to engage in the process of science itself within the context of the discussion boards. So we'll be asking you to participate and be actively engaged in your own learning. Now we'll get to how to navigate this course. The course is mostly run through the Blackboard course with the help of your digital textbook. When you log on to the course, you'll often see announcements on the first page. Make sure that you read them because that's pretty much how we stay in touch with you. If you go into faculty information on the left side of Blackboard, you will see the information about Professor Bingham and myself and all your teaching assistants and how to reach us. If you have any problems whatsoever with course content, you can reach out to any one of us at any time and we'll be glad to help you. Next down is the course information and syllabus tab. If you click on that, you will see your course syllabus, you'll see discussion board directions, and you'll also see a video about how to use the academic databases and how to avoid plagiarism. First, let's go into the course syllabus. I'm not going to read it to you, but we'll go to some key points. And then next is discussion board directions, the rubric, and the examples of discussion posts. Make sure you read everything very carefully. If you go into the syllabus, I'm going to call your attention to what I've circled here in red, which is the information about the 2 live exams. These are the dates and times of those two exams. Please remember that there are no makeups except for medical reasons that can be documented. These exams are given on West Campus, or if you make arrangements with me prior to June 3rd, which is this coming weekend, we can arrange to have you take your exams at remote test center sites if you're too far from West Campus to get there in time. Make sure that you take care of this with me before June 3rd. Next, if you look at the grading, Exam 1 will cover topics 1 to 10. There are 30 multiple choice questions, and it's worth 300 points or 30% of your grade. There is also an e-quiz component of this course that are given on Blackboard. There are 6 e-quizzes. Each is worth 50 points. Those are also worth 300 points. Now, the lowest of item 1 or 2 will be dropped. So we'll either drop your Exam 1 score or all your e-quiz scores. So make sure if you're going to take one of these options to drop one, that you make sure you take all your e-quizzes on time. Next are your discussion posts. There are 12 posts. They're graded categorically, 0, 10, 20, or 30 points each. We drop 2, so you have a possible 300 points here or another 30% of your grade. Now, since we drop 2, we do not allow late or made-up posts because you can easily drop 2. The last exam is Exam 2. It covers topics 11 through 24. It's considered the final, but it is not cumulative. It is worth 400 points and is 40% of your grade. So there is a total of 1,000 points that you can earn for this course, and then we apply the curve in case any one exam question is a little too difficult that everyone has a difficult time with. Next, if you go into textbook information, you'll see information about the Digital EduPack. This is where the live lecture videos are. And you'll see the written textbook, Death from a Distance, and The Birth of a Humane Universe. As far as the digital textbook, if you click on that, you'll see the technical requirements for your computer that you need to run the digital textbook. And you will see the purchase directions on how to purchase it directly through Streaming Tutors. Once you've purchased your subscription to it, you will go to log on to your subscription. You'll go to streamingtutors.com, and after you've registered and you've purchased, You then will log on with the username and password that you chose when you activated. Once you're into Screaming Tutors, go to Courses, and you will see Bio 358 down here at the bottom in the middle. Once you're into the digital textbook, you will see all the lecture numbers as we relate to them on your assignments. So if you click on the first one, which is Lecture 1, How Are We Unique? And now you'll be in the Learn portion of this tab. You will see a lecture video as shown here. If you click on the lecture video, you'll be able to play the entire lecture video. Afterwards, there's also supplementary videos that have been created for some of the more difficult parts of the course. You'll see images, you'll see documents like the lecture PowerPoint so you can follow along, and you'll see different interactive questions that can help you make sure that you understood the video. If you go into practice, you will see some study questions for each topic. Now remember, these are not the graded e-quizzes on the syllabus. These questions are just for your own practice use so that you can make sure you understood what was on the video. Again, if you want to see what the correct answer is, you can press Show Correct Answer. It will show you the answer. You can also hit Show Analysis, and it'll give you a little bit of analysis to why that answer was correct. There are also different interactive assets that you can go through and utilize that will help you understand the material. Remember that no part of the grading is on the digital textbook. All e-quizzes and all discussion posts that are graded for this course are all on Blackboard. There's also a glossary on the digital textbook. As I told you, this is a multidisciplinary course, so there are many, many different phrases that we use that are from many different disciplines, and if you want to make sure you understand exactly what we're saying, use the glossary. It's a very important part of your studying. There's also the written textbook, Death from a Distance, and The Birth of a Humane Universe, which you can get from Amazon either as a written text or as a very inexpensive Kindle. The most important thing now, after you've gotten everything, you're ready to go with the course, is to go into the weekly assignments each week on Monday. The new assignment will always come up at the top. It will show you the week, and it'll also tell you the due dates. There are 2 due dates in this course each week. One is on Wednesday and one is on Sunday. If you open the assignment, you'll see everything that needs to be completed for the week. The thing at the very top is the assignment itself, and it is very detailed in telling you exactly what you need to do. If you open it, every week it will tell you what you need to watch, what you need to read, and what you need to do for the week. If you scroll down, you'll see the graded assignments too. Again, each week on Wednesday, there'll be a discussion post due, and then on Sunday, you will have an e-quiz and a second discussion post due. Once you're finished with everything that's in all folders, the first week is topics 1 through 3, then and only then should you go on to take e-quiz 1, which will cover topics 1 to 3. Each week there'll be an e-quiz that will cover the topics that were covered for that week. The quiz will come up on Tuesday, and it is due by Sunday. Now please do not wait until Sunday to take the quiz until the very last minute, because if you happen to have a technical problem, which does happen in an online course, then you're going to be stuck up against the deadline where there is not enough time to contact me and tell me you have a problem and for me to reset the quiz for you. You can only enter the quiz one time. So please be sure in your mind that you set the due date for Saturday instead of Sunday, leaving Sunday for any technical problems so that we can correct them before you move on. When you click on the quiz, you'll see something that looks like this. At this point, you can still cancel and get out of it without being shut out. If you're ready to go, click Begin, and the quiz will look something like this. It will be 10 multiple choice questions. And with this quiz, you get 2 points for answering, just simply taking the question. Whether you get the answers right or wrong, it doesn't matter. You get 2 points simply for attempting it. You then get 3 points additional if you get the question correct. Now, in order to give you the 2 points for simply attempting to answer the question, there will be a last question on every quiz. It will say, I will like 20 points for simply answering all questions on this quiz. Please make sure that you check yes so that you can get the 20 points for simply attempting the quiz. At that point, you will click Save and Submit. You'll see a screen that looks like this. If you press OK, you'll see another screen that will tell you that the quiz is completed. If you don't get this far in taking the quiz, it means it was not submitted. So make sure you contact me if you never get this far with your quiz. I want to call your attention to the fact that it'll show an attempted score at 0 out of 0 points. That does not mean you received a 0. The grades will be turned on after the week is over. We'll turn on the grades and we'll turn on clarification of all the answers for you. But in the beginning it will say 0 out of 0 points. Do not be concerned. Next, you should go to My Grades immediately after taking the quiz. What you should see is a green check mark near the grade, or where the grade would be for that particular quiz. Later, when we turn on the grades, you'll see a calculated grade, and you'll click on the grade, and the entire quiz will come back up, giving you the correct answer and giving you feedback as to why that answer was correct. However, remember that you will only see this after the week is over and you've seen an announcement from me on Blackboard that the grades are out and that you can now go back into the quiz to see what the feedback response is. Remember, please don't wait until the last day. Don't procrastinate. And immediately after submitting, go to My Grades and be sure you see the green check mark. Next, we'll look at your discussion posts. So if we look at the discussions, every one of you within your the main course should see something at the bottom that says My Groups, and you should see a discussion group there. If for some reason you do not see a group on the main Blackboard course, make sure that you email me and we'll make sure we put you in one. When you click on that, you'll see something that'll open up and you'll see a group homepage. If you click on the group homepage, it will take you to something that looks like this. It'll say, please click here to take you to your separate discussion group Blackboard site. You'll also be able to see everyone else that's in the same group as you are. When you click on that, it will take you to a separate Blackboard course specifically for your group discussions. You'll probably notice that when you first log on to Blackboard, you'll also be able to get into this group through the main Blackboard menu. That's fine to go in that way as well. When you first go on, again, you'll see an announcement. You'll be able to see directions on what you're supposed to do. And you'll also see who your undergraduate teaching assistant is, and you'll see what their name and email address is. If you have any grading questions, however, for the discussion groups, you should email me directly, not the TA. The TA is an undergraduate TA, and they do not grade. Once you're in the course, you'll click on group discussions, shown here on the left. And you'll see two forums. The first one is administrative forums. You can ask anything you wish here about the administrative portion of this course. Anything you post here, however, does not qualify for weekly credit for postings. However, if you have any grading questions that are personal to you, do not post them here because I cannot answer personal grading questions on a public forum. Make sure you email me with those. The second forum down will always be the one that's due at that particular time. It'll show you the due date and it'll show you everything that all the topics that are covered on this particular discussion post. When you first open it, you'll see your undergraduate teaching assistant's introduction. Now, if you're the first one in to make your post, what you'll do is you'll create a thread. And you'll create a thread, and when you do that, you'll put in what you wish to speak about. It could be any one, put in the topic number and put in the sub-portion of the course that you'd like to discuss. Don't just put in the name of the entire lecture. I need a sub-portion of the lecture that you wish to talk about. After a while, you'll see something that looks like this, which will be when someone makes a post. If you want to reply to them, you simply hit reply. You have a few options when it comes to your discussion board post. Make sure that you read it in the directions more clearly, but I'm just going to summarize for you here quickly. You can ask a detailed question with attempts to answer your own question. What that means is, if there's something you're confused about in lecture, tell us up to where you're confused in detail, and then tell us where you think you've gone off, and then attempt to answer your own question. Another option would be to answer the question of another student. Make sure you use references and that you send them back to wherever in the textbook or the lecture videos that they may want to go back and rewatch or reread. Next, you can disagree with anyone's hypothesis that's posted. They may post a hypothesis that is counter to something they saw in class, or they may post a hypothesis that's counter to something that they've read in the academic journals. Make sure you give us the logic, and make sure you give us references. You can agree with someone's hypothesis or counter-hypothesis. Again, make sure you give us logic, and make sure you give us references. Here I'm saying expand with references. When I say references, what I mean is primary source, peer-reviewed academic journal articles. Every post on a discussion board must have at least one of these. What we're saying is that we don't look highly on posts that include references, only references that are from commercial sites or from journalistic sites or from URLs on the internet that are not primary source peer-reviewed journal articles. You can use these types of references. However, then you must go back to the primary source literature in which that reference is referring. And for instance, we're telling you to check your references. And please remember that there are no questions or new threads permitted within 12 hours of the due date and time. The reason for this is that you're not acting in the spirit of a real discussion with your colleagues. If you wait to the last minute, there's no time for anyone to come in and answer you, which means that you've just come in at the last minute, you're going to throw a post up there, and you're out. We don't look highly on that. Again, you're supposed to be contributing to the spirit of an actual discussion, as a professional would. Remember, use your discussion rubric and examples of best posts. No new questions or newly opened threads will receive credit in the last 12 hours. Your work must be your own. We do put every single solitary post through plagiarism checks. We check between groups. We check plagiarism from the internet. We check plagiarism from different versions of this course that have been taught before. And you must reference empirical evidence for any claims that you make. When it's time to study for the first exam, you can go to Exam Study Prep and you'll see a folder that has exam review material. If you open it, you'll see some sample exam questions. You'll see the discussion board, something called discussion board clarification documents. You'll see answers and feedback to certain key concept questions that we've given you. And eventually you will see some PowerPoints. If you look at the discussion board clarification, what this is by the end of each week, when you finish your discussions, Professor Bingham and I go in and we pull certain threads that have something to do with the areas in which the exam questions usually lie. And then what we do is we clarify those discussion threads for you. And we put it together in a document that looks something like this. The entire thread will be there. We take the names off of the students so that it's anonymous as far as the students are concerned. And then we clarify that entire discussion thread in red. You can use these to study from for the exam. It's very important. Many times, these areas are the areas that we target for exams. If you have any questions at all, you can post them in the administrative question forum in your discussion group, and we hope you enjoy the course. Thank you.